Before we talk about where America is today, there are some things we need to remember about how we got here. And some of this history is hard to hear because it's not exaggerated. Not because somebody made it up, but because these things actually happened right here in the United States. There were black communities that built businesses, owned property, elected leaders, created newspapers, built churches, raised families, and created wealth. And some of those communities were met with violence so severe that today, more than 100 years later, we're still trying to understand everything that was lost. And I don't want to just give you a list of names and dates. I want you to understand what happened to the people who actually lived through it. So let's start with Wilmington, North Carolina in 1898. At that time, Wilmington had a thriving black middle class. Black men owned businesses, published newspapers, held public office, and participated in multiracial government that had been elected by the people. Then white supremacists decided that government would not be allowed to continue. And what followed wasn't simply racial tension. It wasn't a protest. It wasn't an election dispute. It was an armed overthrow. The black-owned Daily Record was burned. Black residents were killed. Black political and business leaders were driven from the city. Elected officials were forced from office and political power was seized by force. Think about what that means. People voted. A government was elected. And because some people couldn't accept the result, armed men took it from them. That's why Wilmington matters. And that's only where we're beginning. Then came the summer of 1990. And understand, the Red Summer wasn't one event in one city. Racial violence erupted across the country, from Chicago and D.C. to Omaha, Arkansas, and beyond. People were beaten and killed. Homes and businesses were attacked. Black families found themselves defending their lives and neighborhoods. Then, in 1921, came Tulsa, Oklahoma. Greenwood, Black Wall Street. This was a community Americans built during Jim Crow. Doctors, lawyers, teachers, restaurants, hotels, theaters, newspapers, churches, stores, homeowners, and entrepreneurs. People were building businesses, raising families, and creating something they could pass down. Then, Greenwood was attacked. People were shot. Homes and businesses were looted and burned. Entire blocks were destroyed. Eyewitnesses reported airplanes overhead and incendiaries being dropped. Thousands were left homeless. Many black survivors were detained in internment centers after watching their community burn. 2 years later came Rosewood, Florida. In 1923, after an accusation against a black man that was never substantiated, a white mob attacked Rosewood. People were killed. Homes and churches were burned. Families hid in the woods and swamps. Some escaped by train. When it ended, the black community of Rosewood was essentially gone. But this story doesn't end with mobs and fire. Come home to Detroit, Black Bottom, and Paradise Valley were centers of black life, businesses, music, and culture. Then the urban renewal and freeway construction tore through these communities. Homes and businesses disappeared. Families were displaced. I-375 was built through the part of the area. Then there's Bruce's Beach in California. Charles and Willa Bruce built a beachfront resort where black families could enjoy the coast during segregation. The city later took the property through eminent domain. Nearly a century later, the land was returned to their descendants. And then Philadelphia, 1985. Police dropped an explosive device from a helicopter onto the moved row house. 11 people died, 5 were children. The fire destroyed 61 homes and left roughly 250 people homeless. That's 1985. So when we talk about Wilmington, the Red Summer, Tulsa, Rosewood, Detroit, Bruce's Beach, and Move, we're talking about different generations, different cities, and different methods. But real people losing lives, homes, businesses, land, and communities. And I don't tell this history because I want people divided, quite the opposite. Knowing this history should make us harder to divide. We know our neighbors. We know who builds with us, works beside us, and wants something better for our children and grandchildren. We can't change what happened, but we can learn from it. Know the history. Build together. Protect what we build. Stand against hatred wherever it comes from.
Because the lesson shouldn't be that we're destined to repeat this history. The lesson should be that we understand enough now to make sure we don't.
One more thing. What you just saw was the first layer. Now we ask why, who shaped this story, who benefited, who gained the land, the money, the influence. Propaganda is real. Social engineering is real. Psychological operations are real. But I'm not here to hand you a conclusion. I'm here to follow the evidence, the money, the messaging, the property, the laws, who lost, and who gained. Frederick Douglass said, "Power concedes nothing without a demand." And power is more than politics. Power is land. Power is money. Power is information. Power is controlling the story. So no, this isn't a black versus white. This is about who holds power and whether the people are paying attention. Next episode, we're going to follow the motive. We're just getting started.